What's up everybody, this is Jesse the Laotian Emotion, and today we're going to be disassembling the heads on the Z. Continuing from disassembly from the engine, the heads are an elaborate part of the engine and how it functions. We'll be disassembling the heads today so we can wash and clean them. This engine is a single overhead cam engine in which there is a camshaft right here spinning inside the engine as the crankshaft turns, as opposed to a cam and block engine like a big Chevrolet V8. Today we'll be disassembling the head so we can clean it and check for wear. We took off the valve cover in a previous episode, and we loosened all of the rocker covers. So we're going to take all of these off. Now that the rocker covers are off, I'll be removing all of the head bolts. The next thing to remove is this cover that holds all the lifters in place. The lifters are special to their bore and they shouldn't be moved, so I'll be taking them out and labeling them so they don't get lost. And just like that, the camshaft is now exposed for us to see. Now thankfully, I don't really see lots of wear on the camshaft, it's just really dirty. The way you remove the camshaft from the head is you go to the back. There are three 10mm bolts that hold on this cover that hold another bolt into the cam, and you slide the cam out that way. If you take a close look, you can see how crusty and gross this head is, and all of the nastiness and damage that has happened from not changing your oil enough. Pretty gross. There's one bolt in there. It is, I believe, a 19mm, and since I have an impact gun, I'll be using it to take it out. Right here you can see how turning the camshaft, even from here, will open and close the valves. If these are resting on here, these will ride on the lifters and open and close the valves. And just like that, that rear cam bolt is off. And now we should be able to slide the camshaft out to the front of the head. Which we are. You seem to have run into a bit of a snag. The front, there we go. The front main seal was catching the cam, preventing it from coming out. After taking the camshaft out of the head and inspecting for wear, I'm happy to say I can't detect any noticeable signs of wear. If I rub my fingernail over all the journals and bearing surfaces, I can't really feel any scoring, which is really nice considering the neglect of this engine. Now that everything's been removed from this head, I'll be cleaning the head with a razor blade to make sure all the sealing surfaces are flat. Now that the area where the valve cover seats is clear, I'll be cleaning the bottom or sealing surface of the head to the block with the razor blade. Now of course, scraping the head with a razor blade is not a true substitute for machining, but it can get the head pretty flat and determine if the head really does need machining. I'll be checking these over with my machinist probably next week to see if in fact they do need to be machined. Now that the head's clean, I'll turn my attention to these rockers. They are very, very gunky and gummy. The motion is not smooth at all, and there's so much debris on the shafts, I'm really gonna have to clean these well. Now I'll be cleaning them, taking them all off, and labeling them so I can put them back together correctly. Now that all the rockers have been removed from their shafts, I'll be marking them and putting them away to continue the disassembly process. Since everything is so greasy, I might as well start taking most of it apart right now so I can clean and prep the engine bay for new parts. First, I'll be removing the starter. Next, I'll be removing these coolant lines to the heater and whatever this happens to control. I don't know what many of these systems do, so I'll be reading the Nissan 300Z book to figure out why. These are all held in with a whole bunch of hose clamps. Since these fuel lines are really in the way, I'll just be removing them. I'll disconnect from the fuel filter and these bendable hose clamps. Removing it from the fuel filter didn't work, but I ended up removing it from the lower fuel line, and now the injector fuel line and rail are off. So underneath the battery tray, over here, there's two nuts that hold in something very special for these cars to work. It is the factory computer. If anybody's more knowledgeable than me on this, I really don't know what this is or what this does. Please leave it down in the comments below. Next, I'll be removing the power steering pump. There are two 12mm bolts on the flange. I'll be rebuilding this pump later in the series since the previous owner said the power steering didn't work and it never worked for me. Next, I'll be removing the AC lines from the car. I do have the AC compressor and I plan on reinstalling air conditioning back in the car, but as it stands right now, I just like to have a little extra room. I'll remove the power steering reservoir to have more access to the sides of the accumulator. most of the accessories and supplemental canisters have been taken out of the car, and all the reservoirs too. We can now get ready to clean the engine bay and prep it for the engine to go back inside. Now, what's left we still have to do is take out the windshield wiper fluid, brake booster, the clutch master, clutch cylinders, steering rack, and clean up all the wiring. But we got a lot done today, and hopefully next time we'll be putting the heads back together, or at least cleaning up the engine bay. Thanks for watching.